What's up, everybody? We are back. Episode number 262.
Ooh,
There you go, 262. And I sound like crap. I've been sick, feeling much better today, but I sound worse than I feel. But
Did
so
you go
you'll have
to
to
a
pardon my
large music
crackly voice.
event?
I did go to a large music event, but that's not
That
what got me
seems to
sick.
that seems to be what everybody's asking because, of course, we went to Hell's Heroes this past weekend, and
Yeah,
everybody seems to be sick with strep or cold or flu or whatever. But you get that many people in a small confined space, and
and around
yeah.
this time of year too.
yours is different.
I caught it from my wife, who caught it from somebody from work. So
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's no getting away from it when you're surrounded by a lot of people at work, and she works at a call center. So yeah, it is what it is. She actually went to the doctor, and the doctor told her it was a sinus infection. I'm like, oh, you can't catch a sinus infection. Yeah, it wasn't a sinus infection because I ended up getting it and getting a fever and all the rest of it. So
oh man,
yes, we're late. Sorry, we were only 2 minutes late. Not too bad.
late.
We
It's
were
rock
2 minutes
and
late.
roll, man. By the way, I saw you wouldn't
Thank
have
you.
believed
Yes,
you
today's my
wouldn't have
birthday.
believed the
Thank you.
number of you wouldn't believe that, yes, and happy birthday, but you wouldn't believe the number of people that watched the show that came by Hair Metal Rob's little CD and vinyl tent at Hell's Heroes. It was pretty great. There was a lot
Yeah,
of people,
I actually
including Tony Clem.
Yeah, I
good.
seen some of the videos. It looked like good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rob told me he met a bunch of people from the show, so very cool.
including the
Um,
king himself, Frazier, the self-proclaimed king. I almost thought there was another guy wearing a giant inflatable crown, and I thought he'd been dethroned by another self-proclaimed king of metal. But
Thank
anyway,
you. Well, right on. So let's before we get into our topic, why don't we, you guys? I mean, we're going to be talking about what's spinning anyhow, but you guys get any shout outs you want to do before we get into the POW and then into the show?
I other than just all the people that I met over the weekend, that some of which I hadn't seen or hung out with in decades. It was really awesome to see see people and see people getting along and having fun despite any differences of opinion. Music seems to be the glue that kind of holds us together, even though I thought we were going to see a battle royal between the Queen, Queen of the Crypt, and one of my friends, Angry Rob, because they don't necessarily see eye to eye on music. But you know what? Who cares, man? Music is music, and I will, if I'm not spending much these days because I'm trying to save money and trying to acclimate to a new budget. But I did find some stuff down in Houston at that gigantic thing. But anyway, we talk about that later.
Right on. Yeah, I didn't have really anything to shout out, but I did get to go see Warbringer and a bunch of other bands. Skeleton. No, I keep wanting to say Skeleton, which that's not right. Man, I am
Skeletal
really
Remains.
cloudy. So, Skeletal Remains. Thank you.
Dude, those guys are tight. I love that band.
They were good, but I gotta say, this is the band that, well, not impressed me the most, but really impressed me.
Allegiant.
You had mentioned that to me, Aaron. Sent me a link. Unfortunately, I got there and they were sold out.
Yeah, Legion. I guess these guys have been around for a while, so they're kind of a mix of thrash and death and progressive rock. Definitely, if you don't like death metal vocals, they do mix a lot of death metal vocals in, but they do have clean vocals too. And that they were impressive. I literally ordered this record while I was sitting at the show, and I'm like, wow, these guys are good. So I'm on my phone going, and I bought this one record. It's already here, and this is intense stuff. This is not something that I'll be listening to all the time, but I can show that later on when we're talking about what we're spinning. But yeah, they were great. Skeletal Remains was good, and then of course Warbringer. I'm actually got hair in front of me, but got my Warbringer tour shirt on with the dates on the back, which is kind of cool. There's the rest of the shirt.
So
Great album. That's a really good album, by the way. I mean, that's a fantastic album, actually.
Yeah, I bought the new album too, and it's good. So I was really impressed.
The old, like, first three Warbringers before they tried to go Testament, demonic, black metal, whatever.
This is pure thrash metal, death at all. And I think they really brought it home.
They have a little bit of the and vocally, I think there's a little black metal mixed into that. Hearing that on a few tracks, but it's not it's not a black metal album. It's a thrash metal album, but you can hear some black metal in there. I believe, at least I
Okay.
do.
Well, more power to them. I really like them. I've got their first 3, and then when I always worry when someone changes their killer logo to something else. And that 4th album, they had just a block letter Warbringer and a real plain kind of black metal cover, and I just never bought into it. And so, but anyway, cool on them. They're still touring and still doing their thing. There he is.
First album, I think, for them in 5 years, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, and it's there's only 2 members left from the original lineup. It's the
Singer
drummer
and
the singer, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album is definitely thrash metal. You're not gonna, they bring in they vary the tempos a little bit. There's a lot of fast stuff on there, but they really vary the tempos. So, but again, I that's another record. We can pull that one and talk about that a little more later on. But hey, what's going on, George? George, I invited George on the show, and he told me he's going to be a few minutes late, which is fine.
we'll
We're
talk
just
about
to
the
get into,
orientation.
I can't get my screen to rotate.
Here, we'll do this. Let's see if this works.
I'll have to put it up here precariously.
Oh no.
There you go. I don't know why it won't rotate. It won't rotate.
That's all right. Anyhow, yeah. So, Kevin, did you have anything you wanted to say before we get into the picks of the week?
Yeah, I was gonna hopefully get to that Bewitcher show here on Saturday, but unfortunately my truck is acting up. Need new wheel bearings, so unfortunately the drive isn't gonna suffice. But those who ordered that Anger as art, the albums are shipping and they are arriving. So
That's their first one, right?
yeah.
The one that's never been on vinyl?
Yes. I got this yesterday late. I actually played this afternoon. It sounds really good. Orange
There you
vinyl.
go.
Well, it's been touched by the hair metal master himself.
Yeah, I like the insert too. The insert came out really nice
Yeah.
on that
But
one.
I had one spin through it and definitely going to get back to it here to really digest it. But yeah, from what I heard, it's very solid.
Yeah, and it's
The insert, I like the story about how this all came to be on there in the bottom first page there. But
yeah.
And that's Glenn Rogers, right?
Steve,
No,
Gaines.
that's
Steve
Steve Gaines. Yeah,
Yeah,
from
Steve
Abattoir and
Gaines. But yeah,
Bloodlust.
so they are arriving now. So look, whoever ordered them, look for them.
Yeah, I'm excited. Mine hasn't come yet either, but that album's interesting because I mean, the story he tells on the inside is worth the price. It's really cool to hear,
absolutely, man.
because I mean he was in so many big bands. They weren't huge. He wasn't like in Kiss, but he was in Abattoir, who were an early thrash band from the LA scene. I mean, they were doing stuff at the same time as Metallica, and so they were definitely one of the innovators out there in that California thrash scene. So it kind of talks about what happened, and Anger as Art is kind of the culmination of him getting kicked out of all these different bands and all the fighting amongst them. And that particular first album, even though Anger as Art is a band and has members and has many people writing together, that particular album is all Steve Gaines. I mean, he pretty much does.
He had members
everything.
that, from the story, he had members contact him and he said, "You should put this out. We should get a band together." I mean, once you get it, read it. It's an interesting read.
Cool. Got anything you wanted to say before we get into the picks of the week there, George? I'm still trying to fix this
no.
freaking phone.
Yeah, I can't. Pain in my ass. I don't know. It won't rotate. I don't know. Well, the only thing is, I told you, Scott, my daughter got engaged. So
Yeah, that's
my biggest
awesome.
thing going on.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So
Yep. Congrats.
Metal Overkill's with us. I did want to. We got Gary Savage from Scotland with us right now watching. That's very cool.
Right on.
Man and War, the Kings of Metal.
Well, Hell Ripper and I think they're from Scotland, Ireland. I don't want to confuse them and tick everybody off, but
I think they were UK, weren't they?
Well, they're UK, but I think they're Scottish or Irish. Anyway,
What's up,
a
Shannon?
lot of cool stuff.
Hey, Shannon,
Scotland.
if you're watching still, have you listened to the new Warbringer yet? Just kind of curious what you think of it. Being the thrash aficionado you are. Yeah. Right on. Okay, well then let's get into the picks of the week from Carcass.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I had to put our
Picks of the
graphics
week.
in there.
This
We're very
may be,
professional, you think?
yeah, this may be cheating a little bit, but I think it's important that metalheads branch out even from rock. But this is such a close. I was really into jazz fusion in the early '70s, and really built my collection kind of on that. I was always looking for the bridge between rock and jazz that I could sell my parents and say, "See, look, it's got rock elements." But anyway, so my pick of the week is Jean-Luc Ponty.
Oh yeah,
Cosmic
good one.
Messenger, and this thing is raging, and it yes, it has violin. Jean-Luc Ponty is a great violinist, and it has some fusion elements to it. But man, this thing shreds. It shreds like, I mean, if you like Yngwie Malmsteen and stuff like that, Alcatraz and those types of bands, even Symphony X or whatever, this sort of has kind of that kind of vibe to it. It's very intricate. It's dense with solid music. It's really cool. So I was spinning this. I found a pristine copy over at County Line Records, and shout out to Rodney Holder over there. He's doing great things. But man, this thing was so good. I just thought, maybe this should be my pick of the week. So it is my pick of the week because we can do whatever we want on the Metal Roundtable. So Jean-Luc Ponty, Cosmic Messenger. I think this is probably his best. There's some early stuff that he did with Billy Cobham that's really sensational. That's good too. But this one overall, start to finish, there's not a bad song on it, and it's very, very intricate. There's no vocals, no gurgling, no gargling, no high pitched squeals, no.
A lot of those guys back in them days, like Al Di Meola, John McLaughlin, Chick Corea, all those guys collaborated on a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, and this doesn't have anybody that really sticks out like that, because he had a pretty solid band. Because once again, without the internet, people in France, and he's French, just kind of did what they did, and then people in Germany did what they did, and then all of a sudden we start traveling across the ocean and discovering these guys. But they were signed to Columbia Records or whatever and got huge. But man, check it out. It may not be for everybody, and as I learned over the weekend, two people can be standing in the same exact spot listening to the same exact band play the same exact music and come away with two different opinions. And I'm sorry, I could go on, but I'm not going to pontificate about that because we're here to just talk music and have fun. But okay,
what is the name of that particular album?
Cosmic Messenger.
Cosmic Messenger. I'm looking for it.
Jean-Luc Ponty, like my friend
I've got some of his albums. I just don't have that one, so I was kind of looking for it. But
yeah, this thing is phenomenal. I mean, it is his best, I think, by far. And you don't even have to fight me in the parking lot. It goes without saying.
I mean, if you like prog, I think if you like prog, you'll like it too.
Yeah, you'll love it. But once again,
we work pretty much together.
Keep it in the back of your head that this is like a precursor to some of the more melodic shredder type stuff. Tony Fridianelli, Tony McAlpine, that type of thing, and Marty Friedman. Jason Becker, all those kinds of shredder type albums. And Shrapnel was putting out stuff like that was basically like Greg Howe was the first guy that really crossed over, and then Tony McAlpine sort of was doing the keyboard thing. But he did records with Brian Auger, for crying out loud, which were super proggy. But anyway, Jean-Luc Ponty, Cosmic Messenger, can't go wrong. And here's a real one. This thing just hit me right in the face this week. So I can't speak highly enough about it. It is called Oxygen Destroyer, Guardian of the Universe. This is full throttle, pedal to the metal thrash. with a little
Seen that
blackened
somewhere.
with a little blackened tinge to the vocals. If you like Avenger of Blood, and especially their new one, and I see that Shannon Fry is here with us today, if you like that style of vocal, this thing absolutely destroys. You will love this record. And I've seen them around. They've been through town a couple of times, and I failed to go out there because the name just sounded kind of cheesy to me. But get past the name. This thing is a must for any serious metalhead. This thing absolutely destroys. So Jean-Luc Ponty, Cosmic Messenger, and Oxygen Destroyer, Guardian of the Universe. And they have another one out too, an EP that absolutely blisters too. So you can't go wrong there. I think the production on this one's a little better. But
Oh, yes.
but yes, I am an Al Di Meola fan from the get-go. In fact, saw them on the Return to Forever reunion, and man, I love that early Light as a Feather, Romantic Warrior, Chick Corea stuff. Just fabulous, just a really amazing. But
Great
anyway,
stuff.
so
I got that Oxygen Destroyer back in November. I liked it so much. I got the first 2 albums, so
yeah,
it's really good.
yep, there you go.
I'll definitely have to check them out because I don't have anything by them.
Yeah, but they have that whole Gamera Guardian of the
Godzilla
Universe
thing.
theme, and it's cool because I love that stuff. But man, buckle your seatbelt because you'll get thrown off the bike on this thing. This is like a Kawasaki 900 with a turbocharger on it.
Right on. So basically, what we're doing today was just going to show. We're just going to do like metalheads do, talk about stuff we're listening to. And Kevin actually got a box in the mail, and he's going to do a live opening on the show.
Oh,
So
Cool.
we can, yeah, that's kind of fun. We've never done that on the show, I don't think. So he can start opening his box whenever he's ready, and we'll
Yeah,
Well,
that came. This actually came about a half hour ago. Actually, I didn't know that package or this package was arriving. I knew you had sent it, so it's
cool.
kind of nice it arrived on your birthday too. You know.
Yeah, right on.
yeah, happy
Yeah,
birthday, Scott. I mean, if I haven't.
Yeah, happy
mentioned it
birthday, Scott.
already, but
Thank you.
29.
Just another
never
day.
looked so
Just
good.
another day of the week. You know.
Yep.
29 and holding. Is that what it is?
Yes, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you
Yeah.
unfortunately when your
his-
kids are
this
old,
is today.
older
Well,
than
mine
that.
is Friday, so
Oh, right
this
on.
is kind of a birthday present as well.
Right on. Cool. So while he's opening up his box, before he shows anything, anybody want to show the first record of stuff they're spinning?
Uh,
How about
I'll show something.
Go for
When I was down at when the Queen and I went down to Hell's Heroes, and we could talk about that for days. But there's one shop down there called Sound Exchange, and I think they're probably the best for at least for heavy metal and kind of eclectic type things. Vinyl Edge is not bad, but when they moved from the hood into a really fancy area, a yuppie area, they became a little less underground. How should I say? Yeah. But anyway, Kurt Brennan down at Sound Exchange always has great stuff. He was playing this when I walked in, and this is a band called Grave Miasma, Miasma. And he was playing this. He had the guts enough to play this thing, and it is death metal, but it's along the same. It's on the same line as Mortiferum, Mortuus, Ossuarium, a little Blood Incantation, but not quite as atmospheric. This is just brutal UK Swedish flavored death metal. And man, I give him props for playing that in the store because otherwise I'd have never known about these guys. This is an album that came out in 22. Then he had another one in the used that was $8, and this one came out in 2016, and it's equally as good. But and then I've been spinning. I went crazy. I didn't go crazy down there buying stuff, and I could have because, like I said, I was on a budget. But they had a bunch of vendors there, including Rob, and it gave people a chance to really dig in and find stuff from all over the world, which is why I like to go to the record store. I don't want to just buy stuff I can buy on the internet. I want to see things from the local area and things that I've never seen before. And so they had some of that, and I could have spent more money, but I didn't. But I came back on Sunday and started listening to all the bands that we heard, including DRI, Hyrax, Cavalera, Conspiracy, Abath, Las Cruces, Corner, and I'm telling you, Scott, did you just see Corner recently? Any of you?
No, Steve did.
Was it Steve? I'm telling you, they were so impressive. Even the Queen, and that's not really her cup of tea because she's more of a death metal person. She looked at me and she gave me the elbow and she said, "Why didn't you tell me about these guys? They're really good." They sounded like they were down-tuned a little bit, but they were on top of their game. It was really impressive. They played a little bit from everything. Las Cruces, from what I understand, was absolutely crushing. But Gamma Side completely lit it up. I mean, it was unbelievable how good those guys are. And it sounds to me like they're going to be back next year. They had a bunch of cancellations, including Onslaught, and I was really disappointed because they were going to play Power from Hell, but they were in New York stranded and couldn't get anywhere. They couldn't get past customs. I don't know why. But anyhow, they were going to insert Rotting Corpse, which would have really been a coup, but they just couldn't do it. So Omen played twice and Enforcer played twice. And I don't want to disparage any bands, but man, those dudes, not my cup of tea anymore. Enforcer used to be top dogs, and they're just too girly, whiny, too nice. It's like bubblegum trash. And, it was maddening. But man, Gamma Side completely destroyed. Cavalera completely destroyed. Abath completely destroyed. And Hyrax, doggone it, if they had a second guitarist, they'd have completely destroyed too, because they really, really did well. DRI thrashed it up, and it was awesome. So I've been home just spinning all that stuff and making myself comps, and I'm working on the Crypt lineup for this weekend, and I'm including all those types of bands, and because it was, some of them were just super impressive, and others were just laissez-faire, as the French say.
Well,
anyway,
what you got there, Kev?
Well, I opened her up. I'll do half now. Let you guys go once, and then I'll show the other half.
Sure.
Gary Moore, Blues for Greenie. I do have this. I bought this when it came out. What was it? 95. I bought it way back. But yeah, I love. This is definitely British blues. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really good. You have that one, Nick? You have that one, George? That Gary Moore album?
Not that one. No.
Who's Greenie? Is that a guy? Is that a
Gary Moore?
No. I know who Gary Moore is, but who's Greenie?
That's the name of the album, Blues for Greenie. I don't know who Greenie is.
I don't think it's a person. I thought it was more of a. I always thought he was referring to Ireland.
Okay, or an environmental thing. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No. Yeah.
I guess I'd never given any thought about what the Greenie meant, but so anyway, when you told me about this, Tommy Bolin, in and out of Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Very cool. Huge Tommy Bolin fan. But,
Blues for Greenie. It's the Greenie is a tribute to Peter Green.
Makes sense. I do remember that now.
Yep, me too. Once I read it.
All right.
And look at that.
Yeah. And Nils from Norway said probably Peter Green, and he would probably be right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nils.
But yeah, Tommy Bolin, little book here. Read it. And then I got some 7-inch here. I don't think I had any Runaways.
Yeah, that's a cool one, man. That's a Japanese pressing of the Cherry Bomb, their biggest, their biggest hit.
I'm sure.
And then some Blue Oyster Cult, Going Through the Motions, 7-inch.
That's from Mirrors, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
That's an often overlooked record. That's a really good one, I think.
And it's 38 Special, If I'd Been the One, and 20th Century Fox.
We're getting a lot of comments on Enforcer.
Yeah. Well, Diamonds is about where they lost me, but whatever. To each their own, man. I mean, their performance was great. They were just not my cup of tea. Anyway.
Then I had gotten autographed
Oh yeah,
Iron Jaw.
Oh yeah, cool.
Cool.
that's personally autographed too.
Yeah. And then did not have an Aerosmith patch, so I got one of those now.
Happy birthday.
Absolutely. And let's see here. Oh yeah, Gamma Side.
Poster.
Dude, they were
I
so
got-
good. I have
I got one of those. I got one of those
copies
for you
when he
too.
fell over me.
And some girls from Rolling Stones. So I didn't have
Yeah.
this one.
Is that
I
the
love
orange
that album.
dressing?
What's that?
Is it orange?
The vinyl, you mean?
Yeah.
No, it's the original black.
Just a regular
from the
black.
80s.
No, I have an original, but it's a promo and it's orange.
It's a
Oh
black.
no.
No,
No,
this
that's
one's
not.
black.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a copy. I have one of those posters for you too, George.
Oh, cool.
Gamma Side. Yeah.
I'll show the next here in the next round,
Okay.
which are there's only 4, so
Cool.
whoever's
No,
next.
Fraser Saxon is not too heavy for me. And their drummer's a friend of the show, so you can
Yeah, they
just
are.
go ahead and take your crown off and throw it in the garbage.
Right on. What you got, George? Show us something.
Well, I got a couple things. One thing I got in the mail today, of course, so my wife had to get the mail. Goes, what'd you get now? So I got the last one I needed for the Enslaved Vertebrae. So I haven't listened to it yet. So I got the last one I needed from them. And I was at
Right on.
some record store in town, and they don't usually have CDs, but they've just put CDs in recently. And I found this for $4. Black Country Communion, their 4th album.
Oh
Right
yeah,
on.
I have that.
So I got
Similar
that, and
stuff. I don't have-
it's funny because they had in the racks for CDs they had about 7 of the Iron Maiden the first 10 years, the singles. Someone just dumped a bunch of them there. I had them already, but I was like, I thought those were rare, but they wanted like maybe $6 for each one of them. But so I don't know. I know the vinyl's more rare, but these were CDs. They were the original pressings from back in what was that 1989, 88 when those came out or something.
Mhm.
So
Some of those CDs pressings are pretty rare, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you have any?
it
Do you have
took
any
me
of those?
years to find them all.
You know, we ought to do a show. What do you when you see something that you already have? When do you still buy it and why? Because I see stuff like that all the time, and I buy it because I know somebody's going to need it. Like Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs. I've probably purchased 60 copies of that in my day, but I always give them away because people never heard of that or they don't know about Robin Trower, and then you hook them up, and it's usually pretty cheap.
Mine
Except for the
was
Japanese
always
dressing.
ours.
Yeah.
Well, are you done, George, for now? Or you got more? Oh, there he is. He's back. Are you done? I didn't want to cut you off. You still had more to show. No, he looks like he's having issues with his phone at the moment.
I don't think he can hear us.
Weird.
Someone
All right,
said
well,
that
I'll go.
Jackson's recent album was a lot better than Iron Maiden's recent albums.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I picked up the new Warbringer at the show directly from the band, and it was it's fantastic. I've already played this thing 3 times, and I just went to the show on when was it? Thursday last week. So not even a weekend. I've already played it 3 times. It's really good. I mean, I've always liked these guys. Actually, we played it. Ultimatum, my band, played a show with them. Back in the day, maybe their first or second album came out, and I've seen them live a couple times after that. But I think they were playing with Death Angel. I think they were touring with. Saw them on that tour as well. And then here they were the headliners, and they tore it up. They were fantastic. I'm really impressed.
What have they been around? About 20 years now, I think. Warbringer?
At least
least,
because
yeah.
I had booked some shows for Merciless Death, and I'm trying to think. Avenger of Blood was supposed to be on there, and Warbringer was supposed to be on there, and somehow we ended up with only Merciless Death, and maybe Shannon can shed some light on that. That's been at least 20 years ago, but that was kind of the new wave of LA thrash metal when that was all happening.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
came
that
out
new-
in 2004.
As that new Accuser someone's talking about, that thing's fantastic. It's just a jackhammer to the brain thrash metal album. I can't stop listening to it. So, but yeah, I think Saxon's been just releasing great album after great album. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, we lost George for a second there. I think he was having issues with his phone, so maybe he's trying to restart his phone or something. I'm sure he'll be back. In the meantime, I guess we're back to you, Carcass.
Well, what have I been listening to lately? Well, these new Nevermores that you sent me. This is the last one I haven't opened yet, but I'm telling you, Rob is some sort of magic. I don't know, and the bonus tracks that are on some of these are great. I did listen to this over and over again. The Voivod.
Oh
The
my
End of
gosh, that thing is
Dormancy.
fantastic. I'm
Dude,
gonna
that
solo
is
you.
so good.
I'm gonna
And-
solo
and-
you. So I'm gonna solo you so you can show people that one. There you go. So people can see it because it was little.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
That thing
the
is.
End of-
It's just it's an EP, but it's like, well, I mean, the new Hyrax is actually the same length as that EP. So you know that.
Right. Well, it's got an 8-minute song, a 9-minute song, and a 5-minute song. So do the math, and yeah. And speaking of Hyrax, I've been spinning that thing. I really dig it. It is short, a short blast to the, short drills to the brain. But once again, their live production suffers because of a lack of a second guitar. But they shredded. They were on point, and Caton was all over the stage as he normally is, and then you see him crowd surfing, and it was wild. But I like the new I like the new Hyrax. It's very simple, it's riff oriented, and the production on it's pretty decent. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
So I've been spinning that. Like I said, these Nevermores, I love Nevermore. I've heard rumors that they're going to try and get back together with Van, the original drummer, and Jeff Loomis. And
Yep.
I think that who played Tim Calvert from Forbidden? Didn't he play in the with Nevermore at one time?
Yeah, he played on one album. Yeah, he played for
I-
one album and did one tour with them.
I don't know how they're going to replace Warrell Dane though. I don't know. Maybe Jason McMaster, that guy replaces everybody. Speaking of which, San Antonio Slayer, man, they were good. Pretty much the original band, minus Steve Cooper, of course, and then Dave McLean on drums, who spent 20 years with Machine Head. But man, McMaster is pretty good at mimicking great lead singers. And once again, and then I saw something somewhere where he had done his Sad Wings Judas Priest thing. Here's a lost art. This is from my friend Angry Rob, and I know it's not a production CD, but he actually records vinyl to disc. And so I had asked a long time ago about the English Dogs. And so he hooked me up with Metamorphosis. So if you're familiar with English Dogs, it's just gritty, crusty, British thrash, kind of snotty thrash. It's almost punk. And so he put English Dogs, Cro-Mags, Broken Bones. If you've ever heard of them from Germany, they just, if you see a Broken Bones record or a tape or disc, just grab it because it's going to knock your socks off. Minor Threat, The Exploited, Black Flag, and Poison Idea. And then a band called Impulse Manslaughter. I'd never heard of them before. But once again, these guys with these crazy collections. And I like people that have, different stuff than I do. And so they can. So anyway, I probably have 200 or 300 of his homemade CDs. But I always discover new music. It's kind of like tape trading back in the days, I guess.
Yep,
So
that's exactly what it's like.
I've been spinning English Dogs and Impulse Manslaughter and the new Hyrax, along with Nevermore and this Voivod.
Right on. You're back.
You're back.
I'm back. I lost my mic. I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah, it was
See you
weird.
moving your lips.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you either. But
Yeah.
all right, Kev, show your next batch, and then we'll go to
All right,
we'll go
we got
George.
4 left here, guys, and I'd never had this one in my collection, but Mott the Hoople
Oh, that's such a great album. It's a
That's a
freaking
great one.
classic.
from '74.
I think.
I like a lot of Mott the Hoople. I also like Mott when they come out. You have shouting and pointing. from Mott.
Yep.
That's a good album. But yeah, I did not have this one. I think I have 4 other ones. Right offhand, I don't remember which ones, but
They had a lot of albums out,
actually,
man. Not to
I
mention
think
all
one
the
was released on
Ian Hunter
Record
solo
Store
albums.
a number of years back, but I'm not positive.
I remember
2,
buying
tell
that
me
one
about
just.
this one.
I remember buying that Mott the Hoople just because the cover was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Elf.
this album here is kind of ironic. I was over at Discogs one day, and I was looking at just buying this because I didn't have it, and because I'd never see it around here ever, and I didn't pull the trigger. And I happened to talk to Scott later, and he showed me. He says, "Do you have this?" I said, "No." I said, "I just about bought it." He said, "Well, you don't need to now." So, but
Yeah,
it was a different cover though. It wasn't this cover version.
I actually picked that up at a record store for an incredible price.
I mean,
it's
it
in great
looks
condition.
Cover looks in great condition.
The whole thing's in great condition. I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think the guy who knew who it was because
Safari Records.
Someone's asking, is that's an Elf record, right?
Yes, that's Ronnie James Dio. It's Elf.
Okay.
Yep. Carolina Country Ball.
And then some Rigid Pink.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know that the guy at County Line's been looking for one of those, and one of them walked in the door today.
Right on.
Yep.
I see this from time to time, but it's so beat up the cover you can't even see. It's like a whiteout. But I think I have one other one. I'm not sure. It's not this one definitely, but this had to be in around about 68.
Yeah. I think they have 3 full-lengths out anyway.
And then the last one he showed me as well. I did not have this one. I think this is the one I was missing from Green Slade.
Green Slade, yep.
Oh,
it's Prague.
This is a promo, and it is Time and Tide. Yeah, I know I didn't have this one.
He was the keyboardist for somebody else, and doggone it escapes me. John Green.
I read that. I know what you're talking. I don't remember the band myself. A guy'd have to look it up, but so pretty much all the Green Slades now. Fantastic stuff if you guys have never heard it, But anyway, so that's my package from Scott.
Right on. Happy birthday. Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah.
Right on. What you got to show us there, George?
Well, I got this one, the new Destruction album.
So how do you like it?
Oh yeah,
I like it's good. I think I like the last one a little better, but it's still in the same vein, same band. So
I'm hearing mixed reviews on it. I'm hearing some people love it and some people just think it's eh.
No, I don't think it's. I like the other one a lot better, but it's still good. They got a couple more spins. It'll be, but it got a great cover art, and I don't think they really needed to do Fast as a Shark though. That one needed to have that on there.
By the way,
lineup changes in that one, I believe, as well. Wasn't there on 2 artists? I believe.
Dave Greenslade was in Coliseum.
Okay.
That's it.
Before.
Yep.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did look that up real quick.
So that was it.
Oh, right on. I got another one. I just pulled this one out and spun it today. I haven't spun this in forever, and it's funny. I heard like a little itty bitty piece of Public Enemy, so I was like, I had the song stuck in my head, so I pulled out the Anthrax Attack of the Killer Bees. I haven't spun this thing in forever, but it's actually a really good. I guess they call it an EP. It's got more songs on it than a lot of full length albums, but I enjoyed the whole album. Do a cover of Parasite from Kiss, and they do a couple of SOD tracks with Joey Belladonna singing on them, and a few live tracks on here. Protest and Survive, which is I'm forgetting who the band is. It's a cover of a punk band.
Discharge.
There you go.
Discharge.
Thank you. Yep, I think you're right. Yep. So yeah, if I'm in a big Anthrax fan though. I love Anthrax. I grew up with them. They were from my neck of the woods. So I literally bought their first 7-inch single as a new release. So there you go.
I listened.
We got it from the Thrash King himself. Shannon Fry says the new Destruction is decent,
which is like saying it's a raging success. I listened to Among the Living this week. I still think that by far that's the best Anthrax, but to each their own. I know they put out. I mean, they really swapped ends, especially when they swapped singers too. It's just, I don't know. But man, Among the Living is crusher. I love that record.
I also pulled out this one I hadn't heard in a long time. Any of you guys know this band, Brockus Helm?
Brockus Helm, yeah.
I just hadn't heard it in a long time, and just like actually, I put in 2 new record shelves in my office, so my office looks like a disaster area. But I'm shifting all the records around and stuff, so I'm pulling records and going through them and pulling out doubles that I didn't really even realize I had. And I was digging through it. I found this one. I'm like, I haven't heard that in a long time, so I gave it a spin. Yeah, they're kind of an underground cult classic. People love this band, and I can understand why. They definitely have a unique sound. I think their singer is okay, but the musicianship is great, and there's some Thin Lizzy vibes here and there too on there, which I really enjoyed. So, of course, being a Lizzy fanatic, I mean, I don't even know if I showed this thing yet, but I just got this recently. But yeah, it's really good. Their records seem to be hard to find, but they were reissued not too long ago. This one was released this is a 2021 release, so you may still be able to find them if you're interested in it. Just classic.
Is it a new release? So they're back together?
No. This is old. This is for like what, 1984?
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say
yeah. This is old, but it was released
reissued in 2021.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, this is all old stuff, but yeah, it definitely has some Thin Lizzy vibes when some of the dual guitar stuff going on here and there too. But I mean, it's more in the line of like Judas Priest than Thin Lizzy overall. So, but yeah, anyhow, yeah, Kevin, I got more show, but you can go.
Well, I finally got this here. Must have been a week and a half ago. I finally got the new Atrophy. So I've been spinning Asylum.
That made my top
I
list.
listened to this. I think it was about 2 weeks ago I got this, and it was I think my last update I showed this, but then I had to go out in the collection and I was spinning this Atrophy, Chemical Dependency.
Yeah, that's the early demos, right?
Yeah, this is only on cassette. Only on cassette when they first came out. Put out actually by Flogga Records. And if you're familiar with Flogga, they don't do a lot of pressings of these albums, maybe 100 at the most, but you can find these out there, but they are a little bit hard to find. But
you have that one, John?
This thing is really good.
I have tapes. I have some demo tapes in a trunk locked away, but I was interested in the Sacrifice. What's your take on that? Because didn't you buy that recently?
Not me. I didn't know. I haven't. Scott had it.
It's badass. I think this is fantastic. I think it's. Excuse me. I liked their last album they put out. What was it? 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
This thing is fantastic. I mean, this should have been their third album. I think it's that good. It's just fantastic.
Huh.
Love the artwork. Yeah, this thing's great. I think, did I show you the what came with it?
Oh, like a scarf or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does get cold up there in Canada, eh?
Yeah. So that was, Curse Blessing Records. So that was kind of nice. I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting a record. So always nice to get a little freebie. So
a trinket in the mail. Yeah.
Happy birthday to me. What you got, John?
Cool.
Well, let's see. I bought I've been downloading. I know it sounds sacrilegious, but I've been downloading some stuff just because it's so expensive to get it from overseas.
That's it.
Yep, I'm done.
There you
Gee, you got
yes, terrible.
Let's see. I got a new album from Dead and Dripping. Orphalis is a German band. A kid at the Hell's Heroes came up to me and said, "You look like you like death metal," and I said, "I do." And he said, "Here, check these guys out." It was a Molten sticker. That's the name of the band. They're from the Bay Area. And sure enough, I checked them out, and they're pretty cool, man. I'm actually going to play a song of theirs on The Crypt this week. And then another kid came up to me and said, do you like thrash metal? And I said, yes, I love thrash. And he handed me a pin and one of those codes, on a card and said, check us out. They're a band called Nemesis, bunch of young kids, 17, 18 years old, that look like they just stepped out of a 1988 thrash video. And so I checked them out, and they're going to lead off the Triple Thrash Threat this week. So, like I said, it's encouraging to see the young kids still being interested. I know music is very cyclical, and eventually Beatles will be popular again down the road, and everybody will be buying that. But
Hey,
there's a band called Junta.
let me interrupt just real quick, Don.
Yep.
We got Renee from Spain joining in. Renee's a really cool guy, so just wanted to let you know, everybody know he's here. So
right on.
Yeah, he's got a great channel. He's got a great channel as well from Spain.
We're represented from all over the world, Norway, the depths of Houston. Yeah. But let's see what else. A band called Replicant. They're on Transcending Obscurity. They're brutal death metal. Nithing. They specialize in just crushing heads. Cuttered Flesh is another one that I've been listening to. Paganizer has a couple of members that are in the band Revolting. They just put out a new record. And then I've been spinning that Cavalera. I've been spinning all the early Sepultura, including Beneath the Remains. I still need to find a clean vinyl copy of Beneath the Remains. So shout out to everybody. I don't expect a free record, but I will surely pay a reasonable price for Sepultura Beneath the Remains on original pressing or otherwise. But I've got all the other ones up to the time Max left. And but I've been spinning that Schizophrenia reissue. Is just, man. Yeah, and they played it when they played. I thought they were just going to play Schizophrenia, but then they segued into Arise and Beneath the Remains, and then they did Chaos AD. They did Godzilla, Biotech as Godzilla. They did Territory, which was absolutely crushing, and they just did a little bit. And Aboth did kind of the same thing. I thought they were just playing Sons of Northern Darkness. He played some tracks off of At the Heart of Winter, Damned in Black. I mean, it was. So I've been, like I said, I've been spinning all those records at like a madman, trying to catch up with all the great music that I heard over the weekend. But anyway,
what you got, George?
Well, this one of the guys I watch is me. He always sends me videos of different bands, and this one I never heard of, and it's Woodwitch, doom metal band. I got it off Bandcamp, and they have a few albums out, but it's like up-tempo doom, not death doom, but like really excellent stuff. I was very surprised how good it was. Never heard of them, so have you guys ever heard of them? They have a couple albums out.
I added that to my want list of things when you showed it. I think I saw you show it on your channel, right?
I didn't show it yet, no, but I think I showed it on one of the things I showed, but it's excellent. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised how good it was. So
just added it to
my know. Cool. It's got a cool the background, the back cover there.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's great artwork. So I mean, good stuff. Got to support the Bandcamp guys, you know.
We're getting some praise for the Iron Jaw CD for all the work we did on it. So very cool.
Yeah, it's a real step up from the first one, and I like the songs on the first one, but it's just better.
Yep, I love Iron Jaw. Anyhow, cool. I got to put you down, buddy. This is my. I don't know if I've ever introduced this one before. This is our baby. This is Abby. So we now have 3 dachshunds, and she's about 5 months old now. So, and she's a mini dachshund, and she loves to love and lick. So I always got to watch. So, all right, baby, got to get down. All right, cool. That Woodwitch, I've added. I've got more stuff than I could ever afford to buy. So,
me too.
Download.
When I went to the Warbringer show the other day, there was this band that was standing around talking about their band, and they handed me this card, and it says, "Want to hear brutal 7-string violin chugs?" I have no idea. I haven't had a chance to look into them yet. But I'm going to put this here if anybody wants to scan it and check them out. but they're apparently this really heavy death metal band with a violin player, and it's all I don't know. I haven't heard it, so I can't really describe it, but
Interesting.
should be interesting. I was like,
What's the name of the
why
band?
not, man? What's that?
What's the name of the band?
It doesn't say. It just says
Oh,
that's it, and so you have to actually scan it to get to it on your phone. So yeah, interesting, huh?
Probably
Yeah.
bring the site you
well, like I said, I discovered 2 bands over the weekend, and people just coming up to me and saying, "Here, check us out." And that's the way you got to sell yourself. I mean, the internet's one thing, but to put a pin or a sticker or something in someone's hand, that's a whole different way to sell yourself.
I'm just going to go through a few of these real quick. This is I showed this quickly earlier, but this is the Thin Lizzy 1976 CD box set, which I pre-ordered this sucker, gosh, a year ago. It never showed up on Amazon, and then they charged me for it anyhow. So then I had to get my money back, and it was like $100. So, and this is one of those ones where I had to actually ask my wife, hey, honey, can I please buy this? And she knows how big a Thin Lizzy fan I am, so she's like, yeah, we'll make it work. So we made it work. But then, of course, they never arrived. So then I was bugged because then they were gone out of print. But then I found a Japanese seller on eBay selling the Japanese version, which is identical, other than it's got extra stuff in it, for $120, including shipping. So I was like, okay, I mean, it's not that bad. So anyhow, I've been one a day spinning all the different discs from this thing. But it's basically all the stuff they recorded that year, and they recorded a lot. So it's got the original versions of Jailbreak and Johnny the Fox on there. It's also got the remix versions that came out on vinyl last year, which they went back to the original master tapes, and they found all this alternative guitar solos, alternative vocal takes, intros that he didn't use, all kinds of stuff. And so they put a whole new mix of it out, which I thought was fantastic. So they have both of those on here. Then they have demos. They have songs that never were released before on here, outtakes. And then there's a couple of live shows on here. So the last thing I listened to was the Live in Cleveland 76, and it's really good. Really, I mean, it sounds like they may have been using it to record for like Live and Dangerous. It's the recording quality is that good, but it's not one of the shows that was available as part of that, Live and Dangerous collection. So yeah, and it's got a beautiful book inside of it. I haven't actually had a chance to read the whole thing yet. So, and then I'll just throw you a few records that I've been spinning recently. I was just in a mood. I've just been listening to some of the old Tease records from the 70s.
Yep, I have that one.
You guys remember these guys, Tease?
Yeah.
They were a Canadian hard rock band, heavy metal band.
Not to be confused with the one in Houston.
No. Then Kevin was the one who suggested these guys, so I picked up the Suicidal Angels, and this is great.
Yeah, really, it's solid.
Profane Prayer. It is definitely thrash. It's thrash.
It's
modern production, but definitely an old school spirit, and I really enjoyed it. And it's last I looked, the vinyl is on Amazon for under $20.
They've never put out a bad record, in my opinion. They always are spot on and solid.
That album was like $18.50.
Yeah,
it was like 40% off the regular price. So
yeah, and there's CDs available too.
I don't know if that sale is still on though. So I don't know if it's that.
Last I looked, it was, because I sent the link to somebody not too long ago. But anyhow, the new Hyrax finally came in the mail. The vinyl, it's exactly what you want to hear from Hyrax. It is short. It was produced and mixed by Max Norman, who is of course, legend. But the whole album is just barely over 20 minutes long. So I mean, the songs are short, punchy. They got a bit of a punk delivery to them, but they got a modern production, and they're definitely thrash. But yeah, like the first song is a minute long. The second song is 3 minutes long. Third song is 2 3/4 minutes long. Faster Than Death is a minute and a half long. Psychiatric Ward is a minute and a half long. Relentless is 2.5 minutes long. Reverent is 3.45 seconds long. Warlord's Command is 2.5 minutes long, and World's End is 3.25 minutes long. So they're all short, punchy songs. I could see why some people would think that was a negative, but all it did for me was leave me wanting more.
No, there's nothing negative about that record. It's really awesome.
I don't know. I've been in a Stones mood all year, so I've been spinning pulling out not every day, but just every once in a while, just pulling out an old Stones album and giving it a respin. I haven't heard this one in forever, but man, there's some great stuff on here. I mean, She's So Cold and Emotional Rescue were, two huge hits from the band. I kind of forgot about them. And that's. I'll show these real quick too. We got time. I didn't get the vinyl yet. I'm looking forward to getting the vinyl, but I got the 3 albums from the Live at Cornerstone 2001 series in. The Bride, which is freaking killer because it's all songs from the first 3 albums. So it's just pure metal and speed metal. Great stuff. Really well recorded. Dale Thompson screams his butt off on that thing. It's great. This was the reunion concert for Deliverance, Live at Cornerstone, the Triumphant Return. This is the best recording of the bunch. I think the sound quality on here is fantastic. And it's the longest as well. It's got 13 tracks. And then finally the Sacred Warrior, which is one of my favorite bands. I love Sacred Warrior. They're right along the lines of early Fates Warning, early Queensryche. I don't know. That's kind of where I always think of them as those kind of bands. But this is my favorite of the bunch. And they do. There is 12 tracks on here, but a couple of the tracks they kind of mesh them together. So there's a couple of shorter tracks where they don't play the entire song. They play like 2.5 minutes of a song and then they go into another one. But I actually think it's really well done. They also do 3 tracks on here that they recorded for a demo in 2001 but never released to this day. So there's 3 unreleased tracks on here from the band that are just pure, progressive power metal in that same, Crimson Glory, that kind of sound. So anyhow, the Live at Cornerstone series, I got them coming on vinyl too, so I'm looking forward to them. And I'm getting a bit froggy, so I'm done. Kevin, you're up.
All right. So it's kind of searching my collection here. Well, last weekend I pulled 30 albums to listen to, and I did listen to all 30 of them. And I pulled a couple here I haven't heard in a long time, especially this one. And this is kind of a rare album to get, this Immaculate Mary.
Yep. They're from Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. And it's on the Mirror record label. And it's the only label. I don't even think these have been repressed. I don't think anybody has ever done anything to them besides Mirror. But I kind of got lucky on this one. I was kind of going in a pawn shop, and they were kind of clearing all their vinyl, and it was going for like $1, $2, $3. And I came across this, and at the time I wasn't real familiar. I picked it up just because of the cover, but I kind of looked it up, and I said, "Boy, this is something you don't see ever." But it came from a radio station. I think it was WJCL. Locally, I don't remember the call name much, but I spawned this fantastic stuff. Hard rock, heavy metal.
Yeah, they're definitely heavy metal, kind of not glammy, but kind of guttural sounding, but kind of early on. But there's one thing about that band some people may not know is they actually knocked the Who out of the Guinness Book of World Records for the loudest concert.
Yep.
Wow.
And then I pulled out this Spellcaster.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which is their second release. I think, what was it?
They released an EP, and then that's a full length?
Yeah, this is a full length. 2014, so this is the middle one. This is the hardest one to find.
I have the EP that's on that's like a purple vinyl. Was that on Heavy Artillery?
No, this is on Lone Fir Records.
They had gone out of business. Heavy Artillery had, I think, gone out of business. And once again, Shannon Fry could back me up on that because they were on Heavy Artillery, their first album.
S&T Young, what was your old band? I'm kind of curious.
It's just straight heavy metal, maybe leaning towards new wave of traditional heavy metal. They're out of Portland. Of course, this band, when they split, they formed another band called Unto Others, I believe. Some of the members.
I believe you're right. Yep.
Off of that.
We got a minute or two left, so let's. You got one more to show.
I got nothing. I just, like I said, I spent the last
Okay,
4 or
that's cool.
5 days between driving and listening. And Hell's Heroes was, despite the cancellations, they had multiple cancellations, and that was a little unfortunate. But it was pretty well run. They got bugs out of the sound system because the sound was terrible the first day. Everybody agreed. But once again, as I'm standing there listening to Omen, I don't understand the intrigue, but there were at least 2,000 other people standing in front of the same stage I was that thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Same thing with Crimson Glory. I didn't realize they were still trying to pull off the 4-part harmony, but I came home and listened to Transcendence, and it's a good record. But I don't know, still don't see the intrigue. But and then, like I said, I was hoping Enforcer would play something early, Evil Attacker or Black Angel or something off the first 2 records, but they just wimped out and played their new stuff. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard to go before or after a band like Gamacide or Cavalera. Crimson Glory played after Cavalera, who absolutely just wiped the floor with with everybody. They were probably the top dog. Saxon, I understand, was great. We didn't stay for Saxon because it was hot that day, and we just, as you can tell by the color of my forehead, even with sunscreen. But to each their own. Once again, you don't go to those things to like every single band. You go there to kind of get a feel for what else is out there. And I got 2 good recommendations from people that just walked up to me. Got to see a bunch of cool friends and long time
hang out
and hang out
with people.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the food was great. And once again, I'm a sound snob, and if it sounds like crap, I'm not going to mince words, but they eventually got it squared away. But Gamacide had brought their own sound guy, and it really made a difference. Cavalera had their own sound guy. Ablath had his own sound guy, and so needless to say, all 3 of those bands sounded great. But I like the reunions. I like the prospect that there is a fest in the United States that's almost as big as some of the ones in Europe. I think I would compare this probably to Eindhoven, which is Novaken, but they still have a great lineup there at Eindhoven.
It's getting bigger every year, right? So
yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, when I went to one of the first 2 or 3 Hell's Heroes, it was 2 days and 12 or 14 bands, and now it's like 40 bands in 3 days, and it's really hard to bounce back and forth inside and outside at these different stages to try and catch your heavy metal heroes. But it's what you do. And
well, let's give we only have like a minute left, so let's give George an opportunity to show whatever he's got left.
Okay, I got a couple real quick. 2 bands that's just getting into recently, which one's an old band, one's a really old band, but really completely different. But I bought the second Dark Throne album, Blaze in the Northern Sky. It sounds a little more like their debut, so I really enjoyed it. I don't know how much I'm going to go into the deep into the catalog, but I thought it was pretty good. I also got it getting into Yes, which is completely different than Dark Throne, but Drama, I've really loved it. I got to just listen to it yesterday. I was like, wow. Never got into Yes before. I got a few more albums now. Really good though. I mean, the Yes, there's no explanation.
That was a very different album. Didn't even have John Anderson on vocals.
Exactly. Right? But it still sounded like you didn't really miss him on the album though. But it was good though. And I got this DP for Havoc too.
Yeah, that new Havoc EP is great.
Excellent one. So I mean, if that's the direction they're going in, because I love everything Havoc does. It's one of those bands I just got into recently and really loved them a lot. So that's it. That's what I got.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on again, George. You're a regular part of the show these days, so you're always welcome.
I appreciate
what the Metal Roundtable is. I mean, it's just a bunch of guys talking metal. So, Shannon, I noticed Shannon was talking on a minute ago, saying he wants to come on the show and tell us some stuff. So we'll have to get Shannon on the show. Maybe we could talk about the new Avenger Blood and
dude, it rips.
Talk metal in general, because there he is, Avenger Blood, right there. That's
Yep.
not the new one, but that's
Is that Complete Annihilation or?
Yep.
Completely re-annihilated.
Oh yeah, man, they're good.
Yep. So
They're
we'll
really
have to have
good.
him on the show. But
If you like that, Kevin, you'll love the Oxygen Destroyer. That's similar.
you can check out Kevin. He's got his own channel on YouTube called Old Metal Rocker 65.
It'll be 66. No, it's
John is on Instagram at Carcass John Art, and he's
And
also
on
on
128 DB Rock. The Crypt.
absolutely. You got your.
In fact,
He's got several shows on there, I believe.
Yeah, they just bumped my time from 10 o'clock to midnight on Saturday and Monday to 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock on Saturday and Monday. And I do the Alter Ego show, which I get to delve into other things besides the heavy stuff. And Kevin can vouch for me. I sent him a couple episodes to check them out. We do prog metal, prog rock, shoegaze. The most recent one I did was what my parents thought was heavy metal. So Scott, you'd probably really dig that one because it's got Aerosmith and Ted Nugent and Deep Purple and the like. And so yeah, and that's at 7 o'clock on Saturdays and 7 o'clock on Mondays. So check it out. Download the free app, and away you go.
Yeah, the Alter Ego. Check it out. It's good. Believe me.
Okay, thanks for the endorsement.
That and you can find George. He's on YouTube at George G's Room of Rock, if I'm not mistaken. I need to make him one of those little things that I pop up for everybody else because I don't have one yet. Just lazy, you know how it is. I did want to say before we go though, and I'm looking for it. S&T Young talked about opening up for Bride, and he had a band that he told me the name. It's in our chat somewhere. I'll have to find it. But dude, contact me if you guys recorded anything. I'm working on these old demos for this thing called Gems Volume 1 and 2, and we're looking for old underground metal demos from that time period. So if you're interested at all, and if you have anything, just get a hold of me. I mean, I'm easy to get a hold of. So, and you can find me on YouTube and at No Life Till Metal or Scott Waters. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram or any of those old guy places that we all hang out on. So, yeah, one of these days I'll actually join one of the non-old guy places. But for now, I kind of like where I'm at.
I'm friends with Steve, so I talk to him and text him all the time. So if you want to get a hold of him, I can do that for you.
Yeah, it'd be great. Awesome.
Yeah.
If you see your last comment, they're all the way from New Zealand to Norway, and from Canada to the UK. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, if you want to get on the podcast, just get a hold of us. Yeah, I mean, we're always willing to bring other people on. That's the whole point of the show, is to have different people on and just talk metal. So, Damien Hair Metal's always here, giving us the metal horns for Havoc. So
Tony Clem, I am the #1 king and I ain't no poser, which could be debated. TV Bleak, yes. Bill Steer, I just saw him on the Headbangers boat. Super nice guy. I've interacted with him before. Love Carcass. Of course I do.
Right on. So for episode number 262, you know how we do it. Metal will prevail. That's kind of weak, guys. I mean, next time we do that,
was kind of weak.
Let's do it again. Ready? Okay. So for episode number 262, you know how we do it. Metal will prevail. There you go. We'll just cut the other one out, even though we're live. We can't do that.
We're live.